Thanks for joining me today. I'm Mark. This is McGyver's Garage, and it's been a little while since I talked with you guys. Haven't had a lot of stuff going on with the car. We had a snowstorm come in, and then let me quiet this real quick. Had a snowstorm come in, and then some issues come up, and found myself unemployed at this time. But that doesn't mean things are going to stop with the car. I've got a lot of opportunities going on right now. And so we'll just kind of see where things go. So I'm out running some errands right now and figured I would bring you guys along and talk with you guys about a couple of things. Some things that have been up on a bunch of the forums that really thought that we should probably talk about and kind of clear the air on. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is some of that stuff. So for about the past month, I've been running 91 octane, just regular gas. Haven't been using an E-blend, and I've been on JB4 map 2 rather than map 6, the custom one that we've been working with Jesse on. So today I decided, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and put some E85 in here. I know that this pump usually runs closer to E80, and so I've run the calculations, and I know that I need about 7.2 gallons, and then I'll top it off with 91, and then we'll go in, hit the JB4, and get it set up for having some fun. Okay, so we just filled up, topped it off with 91. Get her started up, and then we'll come over to my phone. Let me get in here real quick. Okay, so on here, on this screen right here, I've got all my apps on here. So I've got JB4, my fuel it, and then the calculator that I use. So we'll go into JB4 and connect it. All right, so now that's connected, we'll come down here to settings. We'll go into map. We'll go to map 6 custom. It comes on, and now we will go into tuning configs, user adjustments, just make sure everything's good. Okay, everything is where I need it to be. I'll save it, and you'll see my hazards flash a couple of times. And there we go. We'll go back on here. We'll go back, hit it on display, and I checked, made sure I had meth, and so this will show me my meth flow and everything else right on here. So right now I've got my fuel lid pulled up so that I can see where I'm at with the ethanol content. I was aiming for an E40, and you can see here I've got right now E39, and it'll probably change a little bit over the next couple of miles as it kind of settles in. Got the car cleaned up today, took it out, put it on that spicier tune, got the E-blend back in there. So things are good. You can see over in the corner, the boxes are still there. So I don't have my wheels and tires set up yet. Still waiting on the front tires. The rear tires are in, still waiting on the fronts. So when they come in, we'll get that all set up. But what I wanted to talk with you guys today about is the tuning options for the Supra. So I've seen a lot of posts out there, a lot of people asking questions. And so I've spoken with a few different people, and I wanted to give you guys the information that I know of about tuning the Supra at this point. So there's really a few different options. If you've got one of the June 2020 or later ECUs, you've got a few different options. And really, the answer, you've got to be honest with yourself about what you actually want out of the car, how much power, how much torque you actually want out of the car, because those are going to depend, those are going to be the things that are going to vary, that are going to depend on which way you go. Now, depending on what your goals are with the car, you may need to realize that there's probably going to be more work going into it than just a tune and maybe some bolt-ons. So for mine, you know, I've got it pretty much a tune, bolt-on stuff. Next step would be a turbo upgrade. But if you hit that, really the number's about 600 wheel torque, about 650 horsepower-ish. I know a lot of people are seeing problems, but it can happen below there. It kind of depends on how how worn out your transmission is, how much you've beat on it. But once you get to that level, you're gonna need a rebuilt transmission, and that's not cheap. And so definitely something to consider is, how serious are you about going to extreme numbers of power? Because there's other work that you're gonna have to do, and now you're putting some serious wear and tear on the car, and you have to expect that it's not gonna be nearly as reliable as something that's probably 500 or less. You know, you start getting up into 500 to 600, you could have a little bit of slippage issues. You're going to have more wear on the transmission, and at that point, somewhere down the road, you may need a rebuilt transmission. But if you get over that 600 wheel torque, 650 horsepower range, you're going to need a rebuilt transmission. So as you guys know, I've got a JB4 in here. JB4 with my current configuration is good for about 5 to 510, somewhere in that neighborhood. If you were to upgrade to a pure 800 with the same setup I've got, you're probably going to top out between 550 and 560 wheel horsepower, which is a respectable amount of power. It's actually quite a bit of power. You get much above that and you start running into other things. But if you do want to go above that, if you want race car, if you want to go full on race car, you are looking at an ECU tune. So right now there are a few different options for ECU tunes. So Femto over in Russia has cracked it. They've got all the codes. And so you can send your ECU to them and they will unlock it, send it back. Now you have to know what tuner you're going to be using. Are you going to be using BM3? Are you going to be using MHD? There's a few different ones out there, but you have to know ahead of time what it is that you plan on using, because they have to actually set it up for that so that you can use it. And then it comes back, you go to your tuner and you get it done. Shipping it over, getting it back, it's gonna run you probably around $1,500, between $1,200 and $1,500 to get that done. You can do it yourself. You can send it over, you can contact Femto, send it over yourself and get that done. You're looking at a lot in shipping. If you don't have some sort of account for discounts with DHL or one of the other big carriers, you're looking at a lot of, you're looking at like $500 for shipping over there and back for your ECU, and you're still out probably 2 weeks. The other option right now, if you want to go Ecutech, there's only one option, and that is a clone. And I know that Visconti has gotten to the point now where they're having trouble getting spare ECUs to clone. And so there's kind of a demand problem, a supply and demand problem there. So if you wanted an ECU with Ecutech, you actually have to send over your car's locked one. It gets unlocked. It gets cloned over to a spare 2020 prior to June 2020 ECU, and then that'll get shipped back to you, and then you go through the tuning process. Now, with those, look, I'll be completely honest. This car has run faster than tuned cars that have Ecutech tunes, cars that have BM3 tunes. This car has run faster than. But it's all about the tune and the tuner. Now, the JB4 has a lot of people that talk hate about it and talk bad about it on the internet. But the truth is, if done right, it can be an extremely safe tool. You've just got to make sure that you are data logging and you've got somebody that knows how to read those data logs to make sure that you're not over boosting it, you're not running too lean, you're not running into any issues where you're maxing out the fuel trims. And so that's where I was getting to the point where I was really high on boost and getting pretty close on or maxing out the fuel trims. And so that's why we are augmenting with the meth on mine. And so that allows me to add more octane, add more boost, and keep things going safely. But I have a tuner that is working with me and making sure that I'm keeping it safe. So that kind of leads me to it, is you've got to make sure that you find a tuner that you trust and that knows what they're doing. And if you want to run JB4, it's absolutely safe to run the JB4. Just make sure that you reach out to somebody. I use Jesse. A lot of people use Jesse. I think he's got over 100 people now that are running JB4s that are tuned to him. And I don't know of anybody that's working with him that have followed his instructions and worked and data logged and sent them stuff that have had any issues at all. So, you know, I ran this on map 3 for quite a while. Once he started looking at the logs, he was like, hey, back it down, use map 2, or let's go with a custom one. And so that's what we did. And so we're running custom ones, and it's pretty awesome. You know, now that I've got it back up to E40 and I've got the meth topped off and we're back on map 6, and this thing is sporty. This thing is super, super sporty. Can't wait to get the new wheels and tires set up and on there so that we can play with this. This month, the Cruising Oklahoma event is out at the Hallett Motor Speedway. And so it's a road course. Now we're not out there doing like any high performance speed event or anything like that. We're just out there. We're doing some spirited parade laps out there. And so it's a good chance to just go out and have some fun and enjoy the car on a road course. Figure out how to take turns, hit the apex, come off the turns, and just have fun. Have fun with a bunch of people that are like-minded and love cars as much as we do. All right, guys, hope you guys appreciate this. Hope you got something out of it. If you have any questions, any comments, leave them down below. I'm going to be putting out some more videos real soon, so make sure you stick around for that. And as always, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so before. It really does help me out and costs you absolutely nothing, so no reason not to. Go hit it. I'll wait. Go hit it. All right, thanks, guys. See you next time.